Jeff Stoughton gave me a phone call one day, kind of fell off my chair. I was a little bit excited, and for the last 4 years I've curled on his team. We played the last Olympic cycle. Came up a little bit short in the Olympic trials, but I had a great time curling with him, John Mead, Mark Nichols, and Steve Gould. And from there, it was just a matter of making a decision. Do I want to go back to skipping, or do I want to go and keep continuing on playing for Jeff? But it was that time for me to go back and be the leader. So there's a great event here in Blaine, Minnesota. It's called the US Open of Curling, kind of a neat name as well. Just north of Minneapolis. It's an 8-hour drive from Winnipeg. We've got some great competition. Stoughton's team is here, Epping, Laycock, as well as Team China and the top American teams. This is a great venue. It's got 6 great sheets of ice, a rinkside bar and grill for great viewing for the fans, as well as for the curlers to enjoy after the game's over. But as far as the event goes, the ice is great, and it's definitely an event to come down to. There's a really wide range of talent in Manitoba, but maybe not that many guys that are curling as almost like a full-time job. There's the established teams like McEwen, and Jeff was forming his own team. So for me, I went back to one of my old teammates from when I was previously skipping. His name's Derek. And the other 2 guys are actually guys that I've just played on the tour with or against. Braden Muscowie from Regina and Colin Hodgson from Red Deer. Convinced them to look for jobs in Winnipeg without paying them really, and they moved to Winnipeg to curl for me.
When I stepped away from Team Virtue, I had in the back of my mind that I was probably going to go back to skipping. That was kind of something I wanted to do. I didn't know that Team Stoughton was breaking up, that Reid was going off on his own. So when he gave me a call, it was pretty much a no-brainer for me, to be honest with you. I mean, anytime a guy that's won a world championship, a Brier, gives you a call to come play with him, I think you're probably crazy if you don't seriously consider joining him.
The last 4 years, he's got to curl with Jeff Stoughton. Us growing up as kids, I mean, Jeff Stoughton, Nick, Peters, those are guys that we looked up to. So Reid, getting to play with him for 4 years, his experience that he gained from them has been pretty awesome. So now all that experience he brings to our team has been really helpful for us.
The guy's a winner, bottom line, right? So for me, it was an easy decision. And, I think there was a lot of people who maybe doubted him going back to skip. Like, could he skip? He's played second.
He used to be a skip, then he got to play second, so he got to learn a little bit more of the game.
I think it's been a good thing for Reid. He seemed to really miss being a skip, so he had quite a bit of success early on, just straight out of juniors and even in juniors. So for him, back in the driver's seat, I think it's really fitting for him. That's the type of person that he is.
There's been a big change from going from being a skip and being the leader of the team to playing with Jeff, where really, I'm trying to just help him be a better curler. Obviously my shots are important, but as a front-end player it was completely different from anything that I was used to. My shot input on the shots that we were playing as the ends would go on was pretty limited, whereas before I had all the control. And even going back to managing the team account and doing all the bookings, things really changed from a front-end player to a back-end player for the most part. So for me, it's been a lot busier this year off the ice, just because I've had to do a lot more management. Because as a skip, that's part of your job, is managing, making sure the team's running. It's really a big operation.
Playing out of Manitoba, I knew joining the team, it wasn't going to be easy.
It's similar to Alberta as far as talent from the province, but there's a lot of depth there, and pretty much every game that we play and the teams we compete against are very quality teams and seasoned.
When you have to play against a team like McEwen or a team like Stoughton, and if we do happen to go and win and get to the Brier, there's not going to be anyone there that I'm afraid of. There's going to be people that I respect, people that I know I'll have to play really well against, but when you have to play against teams like McEwen and Stoughton to get out of your province, it makes you better.
We find our team right now, the way we're playing, we're not really intimidated by those guys. I mean, we feel like we compete with those guys. We're looking forward to the challenge.
I think we have pretty lofty goals for ourselves and high expectations, and to be honest, if you want to be the best, you got to beat the best.
So it definitely helps us to be able to play out of a hotbed of curling where they really care about the game. They put a lot into it, and you can tell based on the teams like McEwen and Stoughton and Irwin and Kolomaya, guys like that are never easy games. So it makes it makes it easy to, you know, get up and go practice every day, knowing that we have to beat teams like that.
When you get to spend time not only with your teammates, but the same teams over and over, you build lifelong friendships. And that's one of the main reasons why I'm still curling, is I just really enjoy going and playing in a bonspiel. You know, you get to play against these teams. You might beat them this weekend. The next weekend you might lose to them. But the competition, I live for the competition. That's what really gets me going, is the friendship, but the competition. And then after the game's over, you know, you go and spend some time with people that you enjoy.